What does another planet look like? Most of us will never know. But there is a country in southern Africa where the answer is written into the ground, in red sand, in dead trees, in dunes that climb higher than the Eiffel Tower. A country where rivers vanish before they reach the sea, where ships lie buried 100 kilometers from the ocean, where a meteorite the size of a car sleeps in a farmer's field. A land of fewer than 3 million people, scattered across a territory larger than France and Germany combined. Welcome to Namibia, the desert that looks like another planet. What you are about to see should not exist, and yet, here it is. The heart of the Namib. Our journey begins at the soul of the country in a sea of sand so vast and so old it has its own gravity. From above, the Namib does not look like a desert. It looks like an ocean, frozen mid-wave. For 500 kilometers along Namibia's coast, dunes rise and fall in slow, towering rhythm, burnt orange at dawn, blood red in the late light. This is the Namib. And at 55 to 80 million years old, it is the oldest desert on the planet. It existed before there were mammals, before flowers bloomed, before the continents had finished moving into place. At its heart lies Sossusvlei, a drainage basin where the Tsuchab River once ended before it gave up trying to reach the sea. Today, the river arrives only after rare flash floods, vanishing into a clay pan ringed by dunes that climb 300 meters into the sky. These are not ordinary dunes. They are some of the tallest on Earth. Big Daddy, Big Mama. Dune 45, each rising from the desert floor like a vast, sleeping animal. Each shifting in color as the sun moves, apricot at dawn, copper at noon, crimson in the dying light. The redness comes from iron, grains of sand, oxidizing slowly across millions of years until the entire desert has rusted. The older the dune, the deeper the color. The oldest sands of all glow almost purple at sunset. But what makes the Namib truly strange is what lives here. Beetles that drink fog by standing on their heads. Lizards that dance on burning sand to keep their feet from blistering. A plant called Welwitschia that can live for 2,000 years on a few hundred millimeters of moisture a year. In a place this dry, life has not retreated. It has reinvented itself. The road into Sossusvlei runs 60 kilometers into the dunes, ending where the sand becomes too deep for tires. From there, you walk. The temperature drops at night to near freezing, then rises by mid-morning above 40 degrees. Climbing a dune is harder than it looks. For every step forward, you slide half a step back. The sand pours into your shoes. Your lungs burn, but at the top, the reward is silence. The kind of silence that has no center, no edges, no echo, just sand, just wind, just the long, slow curve of a desert that does not end. To stand on Big Daddy at sunrise, 325 meters above the pan below, is to understand why the first European explorers thought they had reached the edge of the world. The Namib does not feel hostile. It feels patient, as if it has been waiting for you to arrive and will be exactly the same when you are gone. Deadvlei. But the most haunting place in this Red Sea is not a dune at all. It is a graveyard. Hidden in a hollow between dunes lies Deadvlei, a name that means simply the dead marsh. "900 years ago, the Sorchab flooded this pan and watered a small forest of camelthorn trees. Then the climate shifted. The dunes advanced, the water stopped coming, the trees died. But here, in air this dry, decay cannot happen. So the trees did not rot, they did not fall. They stood. And they have been standing, black, scorched, hollow, for nearly 1,000 years. From above, Deadvlei looks impossible. A floor of white cracked clay, almost blinding in the sun. A scatter of charcoal black trees, their branches frozen mid-reach, and rising behind them, walls of burning orange dune, 300 meters high. 3 colors, nothing else. White, black, red. It is the most photographed pan in Africa, and yet no photograph quite captures what it feels like to stand inside it. The silence is total. The trees lean towards something only they remember. The wind moves across the cracked floor without sound. Scientists have radiocarbon dated some of these trees to nearly 900 years old. They are not, in any normal sense, alive, but they are not really dead either. They are something stranger, preserved, suspended, refusing to surrender. Deadvlei is what the Namib does, to time itself. Here, 1,000 years is yesterday. The trees are simply still waiting for rain that will not come. Swakopmund, Namibrand. Beyond the dunes, the desert opens, and at night, something else takes over. South of Sossusvlei lies the Namibrand Nature Reserve. Over 2,000 square kilometers of private wilderness and one of the largest dark sky reserves on Earth. There are no towns here, no roads lit at night, no light pollution for hundreds of kilometers in any direction. When the sun sets over Namibia, something most of humanity has now lost reveals itself overhead. The Milky Way arrives like a second sunrise, a river of light so dense it casts shadows on the sand. Constellations stack on top of one another until the sky feels closer than the ground. The horizon disappears. There is only above and below is dark, and above is on fire. From the small lodges scattered across the reserve, travelers gather on quiet decks beneath telescopes large enough to see Saturn's rings. But you do not need a telescope here, you only need to look up. Two-thirds of humanity now lives under skies too bright to see the Milky Way. In Namibia, it pours across the desert like spilled milk, exactly as it has for 55 million years. Fairy circles. And scattered across these plains between dune and grassland lies one of the oldest unsolved mysteries in nature. Across the Namib's grasslands, the earth is dotted with rings, bare circles of soil, perfectly round, ranging from 2 meters to 15 across, surrounded by tufts of grass and nothing inside. They appear, they persist for decades, and they vanish. For a century, scientists have argued about them. Termites? Toxic plants? Self-organizing vegetation competing for water? No one knows. The local Himba call them the footprints of the gods. Where the desert meets the sea, the Skeleton Coast and the Atlantic edge. Following the desert westward, the dunes do something unexpected. They run all the way to the ocean. The Skeleton Coast. Where the Namib meets the Atlantic, there is no transition, no grass, no marsh, no softening. The desert simply walks into the sea. This is the Skeleton Coast. 500 kilometers of one of the most dangerous and most beautiful shorelines on Earth. The Bushmen called it the land god made in anger. The Portuguese sailors who first charted it called it the gates of hell. The reason lies offshore. The cold Benguela current rises here from the Antarctic, colliding with the hot, dry air of the desert. The result is a wall of fog, thick, silver, almost solid, rolling in from the sea each morning, clinging to the dunes for hours. For ships in the age of sail, this fog was a death sentence. Visibility dropped to nothing. Strong currents pushed vessels onto the beach. There was no harbor for hundreds of kilometers. Once aground, no ship ever left. The wrecks are still here, half buried in sand, eaten by salt, their iron ribs jutting from the dunes like the skeletons of stranded whales. Some sit 50 meters inland, proof of how fast the desert advances against the sea. The Edward Bolen ran aground in 1909. Today, its rusted hull lies 400 meters from the water. The Dunedin Star, the Otavi, the Shawnee. Names of ships logged on charts that no longer matter. There are more than 1,000 recorded wrecks along this coast. Some are charted, most are simply gone. Buried so deep the dunes have forgotten them. But the coast is not empty. Cape Fur seals haul out by the 100,000. Brown hyenas patrol the tide line at dawn, scavenging what the ocean leaves behind. And inland, where the river valleys cut into the desert. Herds of desert-adapted elephants survive on water no map records. They have learned, over generations, to dig wells in dry riverbeds with their trunks, to walk 70 kilometers a day between water sources, to pass this knowledge from mother to calf, century after century. Desert lions, fewer than 100 remain, roam the dry riverbeds inland, sometimes hunting seals on the beach. They are unlike any lions on Earth. To fly over the skeleton coast at low altitude is to see Earth at its most uncompromising. Black volcanic mountains, white salt pans, red dunes spilling into a grey sea, a shipwreck, a seal colony, a herd of elephants tracking a riverbed that has not flowed in living memory. Nothing here belongs together, and yet, somehow, everything does. The skeleton coast is what survives when the planet stops pretending to be hospitable. And then, without warning, the desert ends in a town that should not exist. On the edge of the Namibia, where the dunes finally surrender to the Atlantic, sits a place that feels stolen from another continent. Swakopmund. From above, it is a perfect grid of pastel buildings, pink, yellow, blue, with red tiled roofs and a single lighthouse rising from a green seafront promenade. There are bakeries selling apple strudel, cafes serving bratwurst and pilsner, half-timbered houses with carved wooden balconies, street signs in German. This is what 100 years of colonial history looks like, set down in the middle of a desert. Swakopmund was founded by Germany in 1892 as the main port of German Southwest Africa. The Germans only ruled for 30 years before losing the territory in the First World War. But the architecture stayed. So did the bakeries. So did the language. Today, the town is one of Namibia's most popular escapes. Joggers run along the beach. In winter coats, the benguela keeps the air cool even at noon. Adventurers fly into the dunes to sandboard, skydive, quad bike, across landscapes that look lunar. And just beyond the last street, the world's oldest desert begins. You can drink coffee in a Bavarian cafe and watch a fog roll in across 40 million years of sand. Walvis Bay Lagoon. 30 kilometers south, the coast turns a corner and the world turns pink. Walvis Bay is Namibia's only deep water port, but most people come here for what stands on the water, not what floats on it. Flamingos. Tens of thousands of them. Lesser flamingos. Greater flamingos. Wading in the shallow lagoons in slow, deliberate steps, their reflections doubling them, their wings flashing scarlet when they lift. From the air, the lagoon looks pink-veined. Long lines of birds drift along the salt pans, feeding on microscopic algae. The pigment in the algae stains their feathers. They are not born pink. They eat themselves into color. But the lagoon is only one chapter of Walvis Bay. The other unfolds on the water itself. Each morning, small wooden catamarans push out from the harbor, heading for a long, thin spit of sand that curves into the Atlantic. Pelican Point. From above, the spit looks like a sandbar drawn by a single brushstroke, a 6-kilometer arc of pale sand reaching out to enclose the bay. At its tip stands a lone red and white lighthouse built in 1932. And around it, life. Cape fur seals haul out by the thousand on the rocks below the lighthouse. They watch the boats arrive, and then, without invitation, without fear, they leap aboard. Bull seals weighing 200 kilograms balance on the bow. Pups slide along the deck looking for fish. Pelicans glide in low, landing on the railings to take pilchards from the crew's hands. Dolphins surface alongside, riding the wake of the catamaran. Some mornings, southern right whales pass in the deeper water beyond the point. This is one of the most accessible wildlife encounters on the African coast. Not a safari, not a game drive. A boat ride, 2 hours long, where the wild comes to you. In summer, around 5,000 Cape fur seals breed at Pelican Point. By winter, the colony swells to over 50,000. From the air, they appear as a single dark mass, rippling along the white sand, the ocean and the desert, exchanging gifts again. The lagoon is a Ramsar wetland of international importance, home to over 150,000 birds at peak season. Pelicans, cormorants, African oyster catchers. Dolphins surface in the harbor beyond. Cape fur seals doze on the jetties. Around the bay, immense salt works stretch for kilometers. Geometric squares of evaporating seawater, glowing pink, white and orange in the sun. From a drone, they look like the world's largest stained glass window laid flat against the desert. In Walvis Bay, the desert and the sea finally agree on something. They agree to make beauty together. Sandwich Harbour. And just south, the desert and the sea take their relationship to its strangest extreme. To reach Sandwich Harbour, there is no road. There never has been. You drive south from Walvis Bay along 40 kilometers of wet beach, timing your journey by the tide. Get it wrong, and the Atlantic rises around your wheels. Get it right, and the four-wheel drive climbs up onto the dunes themselves. And here, the world changes. The dunes of the Namib do not slope gently down to meet the sea. They rise 300 meters straight up, directly out of the surf. The Atlantic crashes against walls of orange sand. Waves break at the foot of cliffs that are not stone, but living, moving, hissing sand. From the air, the spectacle is almost too clean to be real. A horizon split into three perfect bands: blue ocean, orange dune, white sky. Nothing else. This was once a place of activity. In the 18th and 19th centuries, Sandwich Harbour was a whaling station, a fishing camp, a stopping point for Portuguese and American vessels. There was a settlement here, a jetty, a guano works. The desert took all of it. The harbour itself has been silting up for over a century. Today, the lagoon is a fraction of its former size, a shallow, brackish pool tucked behind a dune ridge, alive with flamingos and pelicans, but no boats. Black-backed jackals pace the tide line at dusk. Oryx descend from the dunes to drink at the lagoon's edge. Brown hyenas leave tracks in the sand by dawn. Sandwich Harbour is part of the Namib National Park, one of the largest protected areas in Africa. And yet, most travellers to Namibia never see it. It is the country's best-kept secret. A place reached only by tide and by patience. A place where the world's oldest desert meets the open ocean in pure vertical drama. The desert refuses to give up, even at the water's edge. Cape Cross. Further north along the Skeleton Coast, the silence is broken by sound and a smell that can be detected from kilometers away. At Cape Cross, more than 200,000 Cape fur seals gather on a single stretch of beach. It is one of the largest seal colonies on Earth. The noise is constant, barking, bellowing, the rolling roar of a living mass that never quite stops moving. The smell carries on the wind for miles. From a drone, the beach looks like the shore itself is alive, twitching, shifting, breathing. Ghosts and ancient stones. Heading south now, we leave the coast behind and turn inland, into a part of Namibia where time itself feels abandoned. Kolmanskop. In 1908, a railway worker named Zacharias Lewala bent down to clear sand from the tracks near the port of Luderitz. In his hand, something glittered. It was a diamond. Within a year, this stretch of empty Namib had become the richest diamond field on Earth. The town that rose here was called Kolmanskop, and for a brief, dazzling decade, it was one of the wealthiest places per capita in the world. The Germans, who controlled southwest Africa at the time, built it as a slice of Europe dropped into the dunes. A ballroom with a sprung wooden floor, a theatre with imported stage curtains, a hospital with the first X-ray machine in Africa south of the Sahara, an ice factory, a bowling alley, a skittle alley, a tramway, a swimming pool filled with seawater hauled in from the coast. Champagne arrived by the crate. Ice was delivered to every house each morning. Even the children's playground had imported European sand because the local stuff, of course, was full of diamonds. And then, almost as suddenly as it began, it ended. In 1928, richer diamond fields were discovered further south, near Oranjemund. The miners packed up, the administrators left. The town was abandoned almost overnight. The ballroom emptied, the hospital closed, the ice factory stopped humming. The desert moved in. Today, Kolmanskop is one of the most photographed ghost towns on Earth. The buildings still stand, pastel pink, mint green, bone white. But the dunes have walked through the front doors and filled the rooms. Bedrooms half submerged in sand, bathtubs buried to the rim. A doorway opens onto a wave of orange dune, frozen mid-pour. From above, it looks like a film set someone forgot to dismantle. From inside, it feels like time itself is being slowly buried, room by room. There is a strange beauty to it. The light falls through cracked windows onto sand drifts shaped like waves. Doors swing open in rooms where no one has lived for a century. The wallpaper is still German. Kolmanskop is now a heritage site. Guided tours move through it most mornings. Photographers come from around the world for a few hours of light at dawn. But after the tourists leave, the desert returns. The wind shifts another inch of sand into a child's bedroom. A floorboard cracks in the empty theatre. The diamonds that built this place are long gone. But the lesson of Kolmanskop is still here, written across every buried room. Wealth is patient. Sand is more patient. Fish River Canyon. Further south, where the desert opens onto a high plateau, the earth itself cracks apart. 160 kilometers long, 27 kilometers wide at its broadest, 550 meters deep. This is the Fish River Canyon, the largest canyon in Africa and the second largest in the world. Only the Grand Canyon in Arizona is bigger, and in some ways, the Fish River Canyon is more ancient. It began to form 500 million years ago, when the supercontinent of Gondwana was still assembling. Tectonic movements cracked the bedrock. Glaciers carved the original valley. A river, the Fish, has been carving it ever since. From the rim, the scale is almost impossible to read. The river, when it flows, is a thread of green at the bottom. The plateau on the far side feels like another country. Hawks ride the thermals between 200 meters below your feet. The fish does not flow year-round. For most of the year, it survives in disconnected pools, emerald green water trapped between brown cliffs. After good rains, it runs as a slow, brown stream through the gorge. After great rains, once every few decades, it becomes a flood that strips the canyon floor. The Fish River. Hiking trail follows the canyon's bed for 90 kilometers, 5 days from the rim to Ei's hot springs at the southern end. It is one of the toughest and most beautiful desert trails in Africa. There is no shelter, no water except what you carry or filter from the pools. Daytime temperatures can reach 45 degrees, nights drop near freezing. But the hikers who finish describe a kind of silence not found anywhere else. A silence built of stone walls, 500 million years old. At Ei's, the name means scalding hot in the Nama language. Natural sulfur springs bubble up at 65 degrees. Travelers have soaked here for as long as anyone remembers. The Nama people knew the springs for centuries before any map showed them. The water still tastes of minerals and stone and time. Quiver Tree Forest. Driving north from the canyon across plains of red gravel, something strange begins to appear on the horizon. Trees that look like nothing else on earth, trunks the color of pale gold, branches that fork upwards like the antlers of some ancient deer, leaves clustered only at the tips, small, succulent, almost blue. This is the quiver tree, Kokoboom in Afrikaans, Choje in Nama. It is not actually a tree, it is a giant aloe, and it survives in some of the driest land on earth. Near Keetmanshoop, a single stand of more than 250 of these trees has been declared a national monument. Some are believed to be 300 years old. Sand hunters once hollowed out the soft, fibrous branches to make quivers for their arrows, which is how the tree got its name. The wood is so light it can hold weight without effort, so porous that water moves through it like a wick. At sunset, the silhouettes against the orange Karoo sky look almost prehistoric, as if the desert is being watched by trees that remember when the rains were still coming. Giant's Playground and Luderitz. And just across the road from the forest, the desert plays a different kind of trick. They look man-made, they are not. At Giant's Playground, enormous dolerite rocks lie stacked in towers and tables as if some titanic child had built them and abandoned them. 200 million years ago. They are volcanic intrusions cooled into geometric blocks, exposed by erosion. From a drone, they look like the ruins of a forgotten civilization. Far to the west, on the wild Atlantic coast, the small town of Luderitz huddles against the wind, founded by German traders in 1883. Famous for its rock lobster, its rough sea, and the constant screaming wind that built the diamond rush and then drove the miners away. Luderitz, like Kolmanskop, is a place where Europe came and almost stayed. Ancient land. When we resume, we travel into Namibia's most ancient heart, into Damara land, where the landscape is written in stone, and the stone remembers everything. Spitzkoppe. Rising suddenly from the flat brown plain of Damara land, a cluster of granite peaks pierces the sky like the spires of a half-buried cathedral. This is Spitzkoppe. The locals sometimes call it the Matterhorn of Africa. The highest peak rises 700 meters above the plain. But what makes Spitzkoppe extraordinary is not its height, it is its age. The granite of Spitzkoppe is between 700 million and 120 million years old, depending on the layer. Older than the dinosaurs. Older than most of the Atlantic Ocean. Older even than the Namib Desert itself. These were once vast magma chambers, deep beneath the surface of Earth. The land around them eroded away over hundreds of millions of years until the granite stood naked, baking in the desert sun, glowing copper red in the late light. The most famous feature here is the Rock Arch, a natural granite bridge framing the desert sky. To photographers, it is one of the most shot landscapes in southern Africa. To climbers, it is a playground. To the Sand people who once lived here, it was sacred. The caves and overhangs of Spitzkoppe are decorated with rock paintings, figures of giraffe, eland, hunters with bows, human handprints. Some are believed to be more than 4,000 years old. They are difficult to find. They are easy to miss. They are unforgettable when you do. By day, Spitzkoppe is a place of intense heat. By night, it transforms. The granite cools quickly. The stars come out in numbers that feel almost aggressive. There is so much sky here that it presses down on the rock. Sleeping at Spitzkoppe means waking at 3 in the morning to find the Milky Way directly overhead, casting shadows from peak to plain. The granite holds the day's heat for hours after sundown. You can lay your hand on the rock at midnight and feel the sun still inside it. The Matterhorn of Africa, the climbers say. But the truth is, Spitzkoppe is older than the Alps by 500 million years. It is one of the oldest exposed pieces of Earth's crust that humans can walk up to and touch. It does not feel like a mountain. It feels like a fragment of the original planet, left behind to remind us how new everything else is. Twyfelfontein. Just east of Spitzkoppe, on a slope of red sandstone, our species left its first signature on this land. Twyfelfontein is a name that means doubtful spring in Afrikaans, a small, unreliable water source on the edge of the Abahuab Valley. But the spring is not why this place is famous. On the surrounding rocks, more than 5,000 engravings have been counted, petroglyphs cut into the red sandstone by San hunter-gatherers, as long as 10,000 years ago. They depict giraffes, elephants, rhinos, kudu, lions, ostriches, hunters and shamans. Footprints, human and animal, pressed into stone the way they were pressed into mud on the day they were carved. One slab is famous beyond the others: the Lion Man, a creature with the body of a lion, the tail of a lion, and a foot ending in 5 human toes, interpreted by some as a shaman in trance, transforming, by others as a kind of spirit creature, by others still as something we will never quite understand. In 2007, Tweefontein became Namibia's first UNESCO World Heritage Site. What survives here is more than art. It is a map of a wetter world, when elephants drank from springs that no longer flow, when rhinos walked plains that no longer carry them. The artists are gone. The animals they drew are mostly gone. The engravings remain, patient, exact, almost mathematical in their certainty. The first hand that drew on this rock did so when mammoths still walked the earth. Brandberg. But not all the rock art of this region has given up its secrets so easily. In 1918, a German surveyor named Reinhard Mark, sheltering from rain in a cave high on the flank of Namibia's highest mountain, lifted his torch to the wall. And saw a figure painted on the rock. A slim, white-skinned form holding a flower and a chalice, walking in a procession of stylized hunters and animals. He called it the White Lady of Brandberg. Brandberg itself is a single dome of granite rising 2,573 meters from the desert. Its name means fire mountain for the way the rock glows red at sunset. For decades after Mac's discovery, anthropologists argued, was this a Mediterranean traveler, a Greek priestess, a messenger from a vanished civilization? Some thought the painting proved contact between southern Africa and the ancient world. Today, most experts believe the figure is not white at all, but a male shaman painted in chalky pigment as part of a ritual scene. They believe she is a he. They believe the date is around 2,000 years ago. But not everyone is convinced. The hike to reach the White Lady takes 3 hours through a dry gorge, climbing over heated boulders, past Damara guides who walk it daily. The painting itself is small, faded, protected behind low rope barriers. And yet, standing in front of her, or him, in a cave high on the oldest mountain in Namibia, the silence has a question inside it. Who painted this? And why? Welwitschia. And just across the gravel plains of Damara land, life itself defies what life is supposed to be. 2 leaves, only 2. For up to 2,000 years. The welwitschia is found nowhere else on Earth. It has only those 2 leaves. They grow continuously from the moment the plant germinates, splitting and fraying as they age, until the plant looks like a tangle of dead vegetation lying on the desert floor. Some welwitschia alive today were already old when the Roman Empire fell. They drink only from coastal fog and the occasional rain. Darwin called it the platypus of the plant kingdom, a living thing that should not be possible. Kuya Hoba meteorite. And on a farm in northern Namibia, the sky itself once made a visit it never finished. In 1920, a farmer ploughing his land in the Otyozonjupa region hit something that should not have been there. It was metal. It was huge. It was a meteorite. 60 tons of iron and nickel, 3 meters across. The largest meteorite ever found on Earth, and one of the largest naturally occurring pieces of iron on the surface of the planet. It struck the Earth around 80,000 years ago. It has never been moved, partly because it is too heavy, partly because no one has tried. It is still resting in the field where it landed. The wild north. We are entering the final chapter of our journey, and in many ways, it's most alive. Etosha National Park. In the far north of Namibia, the desert gives way to something different, a vast, flat, blinding white expanse of salt, visible from space. This is the Etosha Pan, the Great White Place in the local Owambo language. A dried lakebed nearly 5,000 square kilometers in size. The heart of Etosha National Park, one of the great wildlife sanctuaries on Earth. A 120,000 years ago, this was a lake fed by the Kunene River from Angola. Then the river shifted course, the lake evaporated. What remained was a pan of pure salt and silt, ringed by grassland and acacia woodland that fills only after exceptional rain. Most of the year, the pan is dry. Heat ripples across it. Springbok cross it at speed. Lions watch from its margins. Wildebeest, zebra, giraffe, elephant, oryx, they all gather, drawn by the dozens of natural and man-made waterholes that ring the pan's edge. Etosha is home to 114 mammal species, 340 bird species, the largest population of cheetah in any single park in Africa, endangered black rhinos that come to the floodlit waterholes at night to drink in silence, and Africa's tallest elephants. The bulls here grow larger than anywhere on the continent, partly because of the minerals in the soil. To watch a sunset at Okakwejo waterhole is to see Africa's animals arrive in turn. First the springbok, then the zebra, then the giraffe, moving with that strange floating gait, kneeling impossibly to drink. Then the elephants, who push everyone aside. And after dark, sometimes, the rhinos. They come last, they drink longest, they leave first. At dawn, the ritual reverses. The rhinos slip back into the bush before first light. The lions who have hunted in the dark return to the long grass. As the sun lifts over the pan, the herds come back, wary, thirsty, watching the tree line. A 100 zebras at a single waterhole. A line of elephants moving in single file across the white salt. Springbok bouncing in their characteristic stiff-legged leap, when something they cannot see makes them nervous. There are over 50 natural and man-made waterholes in Etosha. Some are floodlit at night, viewable from camp without leaving your bench. Others lie deep in the park, reached only on game drives. At each one, the same patient theatre plays out. Predator and prey, dust and silence, the slow choreography of who drinks first and who waits. In Etosha, you do not chase the wildlife. You sit, you watch. The animals are coming anyway. From the air, the pan looks like a hole cut into the planet. White, featureless, almost lunar. The flat horizon stretches further than the eye can read. And after the rare rains, something happens that few have ever witnessed. The pan fills, not deeply, 20-30 centimeters of water in places. Flamingos arrive in the tens of thousands, flying from breeding grounds hundreds of kilometers away. Pelicans appear. The salt pan transforms into a shallow, pink-veined lake, alive with birds, a sight that may not repeat for years. Etosha is one of the few places on the continent where you can still see Africa as it was before fences, before roads, before cities, predator, prey, salt, sky. The park was first protected in 1907 by the German colonial administration, making it one of the oldest national parks on Earth. Its current borders, declared in 1967, cover an area larger than Switzerland. There is a saying among the rangers of Etosha: you do not come here to find animals, you come here and the animals find you. The pan does not move, the waterholes do not move, the seasons do not change much, but everything alive in this land knows where to go and when. You only have to be still long enough to watch them come. The Himba of Kaokoland beyond Etosha, in the far northwest, where the road becomes a track and the track becomes a memory, lives one of the last semi-nomadic peoples on Earth. Kaokoland is one of the most remote and least populated regions in southern Africa. Mountains, dry riverbeds, sand-paved valleys that have not seen rain in 3 years. Here, the Himba people live as they have for centuries. There are around 50,000 Himba. They herd cattle, goats and sheep across an arid landscape that would defeat most modern logistics. They build dome huts of mopan wood, plastered with a mixture of cattle dung and earth. They move with the seasons. They marry by tradition. They do not, by choice, fully integrate into the Namibian state, though their children can attend school, and some do. What most outsiders notice first is the red. Himba women cover their skin, their hair and their clothing in a paste called otjize, a mixture of butterfat, ochre from a particular mountain in the region, and aromatic resin. It protects the skin from the sun and the wind. It cleans in a land where water is too precious to bathe in. It marks the body as a Himba body. The hair is sculpted into long braids weighted at the ends with ochre. The neck is ringed with copper. Around the ankles, leather cuffs filled with shells rattle softly as they walk. The men herd, the boys watch the herds. The women run the homestead, fetching water, preparing food, raising children, maintaining the holy fire that burns at the center of every village. This fire is sacred. It is never allowed to go out. Through it, the Himba speak to their ancestors. It is the symbol of the link between the living and the dead. When a Himba family moves to new pastures, they carry the fire with them, a single ember protected against the wind, kept burning across days of travel. The Himba way of life is not preserved, it is lived. They are not performing tradition for tourists. They are doing what their parents did, and their parents' parents, in a landscape that has rewarded continuity and punished change. But the world is moving closer. Roads are being built. Climate change is shifting the reins. Mobile phones reach the villages now. Schools draw the young. Some Himba women now wear traditional ochre on the body and carry a smartphone in the hand. Whether their way of life will survive another century is uncertain. What is certain is that today, right now, this morning, somewhere in Swakopmund, a Himba woman is mixing ochre with butterfat the way her grandmother taught her. A boy is leading cattle through dust. A fire is burning in a hut. And no tourist is watching. That is the part that matters. Ruacana Falls. And on the far northern border of Namibia, where Swakopmund meets Angola, a single river draws the line and stages two of the country's great water spectacles. The Kunene is one of the few rivers in this region that flows year-round. It runs 500 kilometers along the border between Namibia and Angola, cutting through some of the driest land on the continent. The first spectacle is power. "120 meters high, 700 meters wide when the river runs full. In the rainy season, when the Kunene swells with water from the Angolan highlands, Ruacana Falls becomes one of the largest waterfalls in Africa by volume, a wall of white water plunging over a horseshoe of dark basalt. But for most of the year, Ruacana barely flows. In 1978, a hydroelectric dam was built just above the falls, diverting most of the river through underground tunnels to generate power for half of Namibia. The falls were silenced, the basalt cliffs were left dry. Only in February and March, when the Angolan rains overwhelm the dam, does the original Ruacana return. For a few short weeks, a giant remembers what it used to be. Epupa Falls. Downstream, the Kunene tries the opposite trick. At Epupa, it does something extraordinary. The river does not fall in a single sheet. It scatters. It splits into more than a dozen channels, each one tumbling over a different cliff into a different gorge in a series of cataracts spread across more than a kilometer of width. The largest drop is around 40 meters. The total spread is closer to half a square kilometer. From a drone, Epupa looks like a hand reaching out. Fingers of white water pouring through a forest of baobab trees and red rock. Baobabs grow on the islands between the falls. Their trunks, swollen with stored water, stand against the spray. The Himba say the baobabs were placed by the gods, pushed into the earth upside down with their roots in the sky. To stand at Epupa is to watch a single river try and almost succeed in becoming many. Buda Marienfluss Valley. And to reach the very end of our journey, the road itself becomes the memory of a road. In the far Marienfluss Valley, where the dunes meet the mountains of the Hartmann Range, the road simply stops. There is no town, no fuel, no signal, no water for 60 kilometers in any direction. A single track of soft sand winds through grass that is gold for a month after the rains and grey for the rest of the year. Oryx greys. The wind never stops moving. This is one of the most remote inhabited landscapes on Earth. It is also, somehow, beautiful. The valley does not rush. The valley does not perform. It simply continues. From the red dunes of Sossusvlei to the white salt of Etosha. From shipwrecks half buried in a sand sea to flamingos lifting from a pink lagoon. From a ghost town being slowly eaten by the desert to a meteorite still resting where it fell 80,000 years ago. Namibia is a country of fewer than 3 million people, spread across nearly 1 million square kilometers. It is one of the youngest nations on Earth, only 36 years independent. And it sits on top of one of the oldest landscapes our planet has ever made. This is not a place that gives up its secrets quickly. It rewards patience. It rewards silence. It rewards the long look from above. The desert that looks like another planet is, in the end, our planet, distilled, unmade, and starting again. Discover the world, explore the extraordinary. See you in the next adventure.